everyone. Welcome to Alphawisdom. I'm Mystic Cassandria. We're talking about the timeline on the headline, how to gauge the time of an event or happening in your life mentally from the headline with chronological numbers. All right. And before we get started, I want to encourage you to remember to give a thumbs up and share and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, here's our check sheet that we always follow. Okay, so we see here the headline, timeline. It shows how to roughly gauge time in terms of age on the headline of a hand. All right, the course of the headline also describes the process that our thinking takes. Do we curb an instinct to jump to conclusions, or do we make quick decisions, then look for confirmation? So whatever we do, once we do it, it shows somehow on the lines of the hand and can be timed with something we call the timeline. It's the method of gauging time in terms of the age. All right, so here is what the timeline looks like for the headline, the one on top. I have this here because this is the one we went over last week, and we have here the timeline for the lifeline, and it's here to show you how it's equally easy to gauge time for the headline. All right, so here we see, just as a review, we have 25, 35, 40 in increments of 10. Now it can start in increments of 5, 10, 15, and so on, but I have it here for 25. And look at the headline. It's 20. That would be between the index and the middle finger. 25 would be here in the middle, in the center of this finger. 30 would be between these two fingers. 35 would be here. And if we go on, it's 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay? So that's what it looks like with the more commonly used method. All right? But as I told you, we're constantly updating in Palmistry, and maybe there's something that has come out recently. So it'll be tried for a while to see how sufficient it is, how well it's working. All right? So let's just take a look at an example of a hand. All right, as we look at this, we see at the beginning of life, there has been physical problems. This is tied. This headline is tied to the lifeline. That affects the lifeline as well as the headline. So both of those are affected. So, but we're not sure. But just for information, when the headline is attached to the lifeline, we are carefully assessing a situation. We're prudent, cautious, and circumspect. The age at which the lines separate indicates the beginning of greater confidence and independence, often both physically and psychologically. All right? So here we could see around age 20, most of this is gone. There's a little bit here, even though it's much, much better. So we could say somewhere around age 28, there's an end to that. And look at that line as it continues on. It's very clear. Very clear. So it starts off rough, but it gets clear. So when we're analyzing a hand, we always look at where it starts and where it ends, because we can't predict that because the person has issues right in this area that's going to be their life. No, it seems to come alive in the 20s. All right, so that's an example of that. And let's take a look at the last one. This is another one I want you to be aware of, and it has a name, the system of 7. timing on the headline moves in increments of 7. So I have the lifeline, which is affected by this system of 7. So we have 14. They start here with 14. Of course, you could start with 7. And then 21. And where's 21? Well, the center of between these two fingers is 20. So 21 would be right in here. All right. So we know in the middle, we have 25. All right. So 28, because that's the next increment. Remember, only 7s. 35 would be here. 35. This stops. I'll tell you in a minute what's going on. And this continues, 42, 49, 56, 63, and 70. And of course, depending on how things are going in the person's life, this can go on. But let's go back to this headline. Here we have 35. Why does it have to end there? Well, let me point this out. Some headlines do not extend far into the palm. You know, we have short headlines, long headlines, but the majority of them stop right in this area. And because it doesn't extend far into the palm, this stops us from timing the line beyond this age. The most happenings occur on the headline up to age 35. Whatever's going on in your life, the exciting things, you're trying this, trying that, getting yourself settled. Generally, the center point in the hand, and sometimes on a headline, there will be room to time events to the age of 42 or even 49. So, how do we do that? To gauge these dates, you simply use the same spacing from 21 to 28 or 28 to 35. And then you add the increments of 7 to the 35 position. If you want to go to 42, same spacing, 42 would be right in here somewhere. If you want to go 49, yes. So this is based more on that system. The majority of action in a person's life is by 35. They've settled. It's a continuation of what they have established at this area. But that doesn't apply to everybody. So, but anyway, it's a system that works. So if you think you might be interested in that, by all means, give it a try. Now, let's see an example of what this would look like. Here we have a hand, a photo of a hand, and we have right in this area, these are islands. So there's stress, disruption in the energy, all right? Now this continues, using this system, this continues to age 21 when the person comes out of it, and then it seems to get a little rough, 29. And there is an elevation. Remember last week we saw that hump? This is like a hump. And then we have more stress here. And then there's a fork at the end. So this may be depression. It sure looks like it. And somehow the person is coming out in better shape because maybe they were on the wrong path or in the wrong direction. So they have this fork to go into writing. Now, this is what the writer's fork would look like. All right? Okay, we'll stop here at this point. If you understood, by all means, do what you usually do. Give the thumbs up. All right, I hope you found this very interesting. The next video will be on the heart, even though there's more to be said about the headline. I'll save it for next time we cover the lines. All right, well, thanks for watching. And by all means, love yourself. Love and light. Bye.